Welcome to Uncle's Channel. Thanks for watching today. And let's talk about a Bloodborne movie that is reportedly in the works here from Sony Pictures. And evidently, we've already got the script writer as well as the producer for the film. And it's all coming to us from a pretty reputable leaker named Daniel Reichman. And he's been as far as like reliable on like other movie projects that are coming up. He doesn't work with like video games a whole lot, but he's very much in the know when it comes to actually leaking like upcoming movies or upcoming movie plots and things like that. He actually has his own Patreon. We have to like pay money in order to see all these leaks. But evidently, comicbook.com and a lot of other publishers out there have come across his leaks when it comes to a Bloodborne movie. And he says the following thing about it. Sony-based project on the PlayStation game of the same name, Bloodborne, follows the player's character, a hunter, through the decrepit Gothic Victorian-era city of Yharnam, whose inhabitants are inflicted by a blood-borne disease which transforms the residents into horrific beasts. Attempting to find the source of the plague, the player's character unravels the city's mystery while fighting beasts and cosmic beings. Now, obviously, he could just simply be pulling the basically the back of the game box here as far as describing what Bloodborne is about, but at least they are going to, according to him, keep the same basic plot line for the movie itself. Now, as far as we'll get to the director as well as the, I'm sorry, not the director. We'll get to the producer as well as the writer for the film in a second. But first off, do we think that Sony's actually going to make a Bloodborne movie? Now, Sony obviously owns the rights to Bloodborne. From Software developed the game. And Sony could actually make a Bloodborne 2 if they wanted to. But I don't feel like Sony's ever going to do that without From Software's involvement. And I don't really feel like From Software wants to make a Bloodborne 2. And so Sony really doesn't have a great option of what to do with the property of Bloodborne except to go in a movie direction. Because if they tried to make a Bloodborne 2 without From Software, fans are not going to be real happy about Bloodborne 2 because the developer that made the game so great is not behind it. And they're going to sort of look at it as a, I don't know, blasphemy almost to create a Bloodborne without From Software. And so Sony's looking at what can they do with the property that doesn't involve a game developed by From Software. Obviously, a remaster would be fine, but that's only going to go so far. And a movie here, I feel like, is a pretty good option for Sony to go in. And I feel like they are probably going to actually make this movie. This is just my personal guess. I have no full knowledge as far as if this fella is right here. But my personal guess is this is a movie that is probably in production or going to be in production very soon. But let's take a look here and see exactly who's going to be working behind the movie according to this Daniel Rickman. Now, the writer of the movie is going to be Darren Limke. And I've never seen like hardly any of his movies that he's written, but they've got pretty decent reviews. I mean, he wrote Shazam, which everyone says like one of the best DC movies out there. I didn't see it, but all my friends said it was really great. He also wrote Turbo, which is a pretty cute little snail movie. Like, it's not my favorite movie, but it's fine. Jack the Giant Slayer, I never saw that, and I never saw Gemini Man either. And so I can't really speak to the the goodness of those films. Neither one of them has like a outstanding rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Oh, and I almost forgot he also wrote the Goosebumps movie, which was a pretty good little movie. And so like the majority of what he has written here is kids movies. And so is he going to be able to handle, writing a full-on dark, gothic film like Bloodborne? I don't know. That's yet to be seen. And so it's odd for him to be attached to the project. Maybe he just loves Bloodborne, as an inside of the Sony community. I don't know. But regardless, he is evidently put on as the writer for the film. Now, as far as like the producer of the film, I feel like it's more in line with what Sony would probably use for Bloodborne. Evidently, he is the producer behind Madam Web, which is obviously a Sony picture based upon the Spider-Man Madam Web there. He's also done Constantine 2, which I believe was Sony as well. He did all the G.I. Joe movies and the Transformer movies, which are, sort of whatever. He also did the Dead Rising movie as well as the Doom movie, so he has a little bit of experience with video games. But man, he's done so many movies. Like I said, Transformers, Meg Part 2, Pet Sematary, Side Effects, The Devil Inside Me, Red, Salt. I mean, like, he has done, like, literally a ton of movies, all the way down to the original Constantine as well. And so, I don't know, like, he seems to fit the bill for Bloodborne 2 as far as, like, a big blockbuster film that, has the special effects and as far as the budget to actually accomplish what Bloodborne would try to be setting forth here. Now, the director will obviously make a huge difference as far as like which direction a film is going to go in. I'm really excited when they finally do announce the director, and I'm sure that Daniel Rickman was going to announce that when it first comes to fruition here. But at the end of the day, this is just simply a rumor from a very, very reliable source inside the film industry, and I do feel like since it's coming from a leak inside the film industry instead of a leak inside the video game industry, I feel like there's a little bit more credibility to it because someone in the film industry leaking something like this, they're not really that tied to video games. Like a Bloodborne movie leaking inside the video game community, they obviously want that. They have some stock behind it. They're really excited about it. But coming from the film industry, there's obviously some overlap, but to make up something like the Bloodborne movie for no reason when you're not attached to the video game side of things, I think that leads a little bit more credibility to the Daniel Richtman here. But what do you all think? Do you think a Bloodborne movie is in development? Do you think Sony's going to do a great job with it? Do you think they're just going to start pumping out video game movies like the Twisted Metal series that they just did pretty recently? What do you think's in the future for Bloodborne and Sony? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Check out my other videos listed up above. And as always, go out there, find a great game to play. Simply have a great rest of the day.